What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy That's Siren, and we are back at it again with another Dragon Ball Sparking Zero video. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot of information in the past few days about the gameplay and watching the live footage, and there are some specific details from the gameplay that I feel like people have not highlighted. So I decided to make a nice juicy video for you guys so you guys can see some of the interesting things that are going to be coming with this game. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys like this video for real. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys enjoy this kind of content, please just let your boy Aaron know. Without further ado, let's get into the video, shall we? So ladies and gentlemen, like how I said in the intro, there are some specific details that people have not fully processed or I guess realized when it came to the gameplay from Dragon Ball, from basically the YouTubers playing Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, right? And so I made a little list of things that we could talk about that I thought was very interesting, and I can provide some gameplay and clips on screen so you guys can be able to see it as well. So first, I want to talk about, you know, the basics, which will be the gameplay mechanics, right? So we're going to talk about the gameplay mechanics first. So first, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say, so you guys know how there is a clashing system in the Dragon Ball Budokai / Raging Blast series, typically in any Dragon Ball game, right? Basically, if two people use a Ki Blast, there's typically a Ki Blast clash, right? Like if Goku did Kamehameha and Vegeta used Gallic Gun, of course they're going to clash. In this game, they're taking more of a watch the bar fill up and tap at the right time sort of mechanic instead of rotating or mashing buttons, which I think is pretty good. It takes less stress on our controllers, and it'll make it fun for the longevity of the game without having to pay for brand new controllers each time we get in a crazy match online, you know what I'm saying? So one of the things, actually there was two things that I noticed from the gameplay, and there were two new clash mechanics, and let's go talk about the first one. So for the first clash mechanic, I saw there are going to be grab clashes. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, Aaron, what do you mean by grab clashes? So whenever there was the gameplay between Broly and Gogeta, when Broly was trying to go for a grab, I think Gogeta did a grab too at the same time, and you basically see them interlock their hands and fingers, and it looks like they're just standing off, you know what I'm saying, trying to overpower the other one. That is going to be a grab clash, which I think is pretty cool because I have not seen that in any other Dragon Ball game before. So I think it's pretty cool that they're adding in the clashes for these things because, bro, that is sick. So basically, yes, there's going to be a grab clash system, and basically it's going to work just how it works for the Ki Blast, where if the bar fills up, you just got to tap at the right time to overpower your opponent. We saw it in the trailer before, but we were able to see the gameplay that was also provided by multiple YouTubers. So I'm happy that we have that. I think it's pretty cool. Next, ladies and gentlemen, the next mechanic is called fist clashing. So basically, I think what happens is if you charge up your attacks at the same time, or if you attack at the same time, there's another clash mechanic that comes up. And I'm about to put the gameplay up on screen that I saw where it looked like it was, you know what I'm saying, like they were clashing. And basically, like how I said, it looks like if you attack at the same time or charge up a punch at the same time, it does a clash mechanic, which I think is also pretty cool because, you know what I'm saying, you see typically in like Dragon Ball intros and anime edits and stuff like that of them clashing their fists and holding their fists. So I think that's pretty cool that they're going to have that going on practically in the game. You know what I'm saying? The next thing, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about the sparking mode. I think that's what it's officially called. I'm not 100% sure. Please do not tear me up in the comment section if I'm wrong. Basically, how it goes is if your character has one of those skill points in the upper left-hand corner, if you have one skill point, two skill points, so on and so forth, or I guess basically just, I'm going to just call it a move point, basically just a point. Let's just say a point. Basically, whenever you have that available, you are able to charge up yourself into your sparking mode. For those who have played Budokai Tenkaichi and Raging Blast 1 and 2, you know how typically whenever you charge up your ki and then you charge it up the extra level whenever it turns blue, that's basically like the sparking mode, right? And whenever you're in that state, you are able to do an ultimate. You're able to do your ultimate, or you're able to do your super attack and boost the damage. But also, while you're in that state, you do have super armor, so you're not being knocked around as easily. Plus, your attacks are significantly faster, and you're able to combo more things together. I've seen numerous gameplay of people being in there, basically their sparking mode, where they went absolutely crazy with speed, damage, and armor. Like, come on now, that's just gonna be crazy. And I'm happy that they have the mechanic where basically it's like, you know, you have to have one of those points to be able to do that, because if they did not have that, of course people are going to spam what they can spam, knock somebody away, get into that mode, and absolutely go crazy. So I'm happy that they have that. The next thing, ladies and gentlemen, is the balance between the characters. Now, there was an interview with the creators of the game, and someone asked if the characters are going to be balanced in the game, right? So typically, whenever it comes to anime fighting games or fighting games in general, they typically try to make the characters balanced for a more competitive sort of sense, right? For example, typically like how it is for Dragon Ball Raid, let's say Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, if you go into a ranked match with no customs, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta could get popped by Krillin, you know what I'm saying, and so on and so forth. It's more of a skill thing for you to be able to understand your opponent and beat them. Well, they confirmed in an interview, and I'll put the interview up on screen, or at least a screenshot up on screen, that these characters won't be as evenly balanced. So if you guys remember back in the Budokai series, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was at the tippity top, and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta against Chaozu, bruh, Chaozu's getting murked, simple as that. And so they're basically trying to go back to how that was, where there was like a, basically not every character is balanced in terms of power, which I think is pretty cool because they're really trying to cater to the basically the Budokai fans. I like that a lot. Now, I know for those who really want to play the game competitively, I don't think that's going to be the only option. I think they actually will have an option where they'll have everything leveled out, since they know that this game is going to be more online multiplayer than it was local player. So hopefully they'll have something to basically mellow that out, because if I have to deal with nothing but OP Jirens and Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue Gogetas, bro, I'm gonna lose my mind. So hopefully they'll have it so they can be able to do it. Like how I mentioned about Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, you have custom ranked matches. Of course, you have ranked matches with limitations and ranked matches without limitation. So I'm kind of hoping that we'll have some sort of that whenever it comes to playing online. Speaking of playing with people online, they did confirm local multiplayer in the game, but it's only going to be limited to the hyperbolic time chamber. And the reason for that is because they mentioned in one of the gameplay trailers of the game modes, they talked about how since they paid so much attention to detail when it comes to charging and the wind, you know what I'm saying, circling around your character, the aura fluctuating, the destructive backgrounds, everything, basically because they're making everything so interactive, they did not know that they could be able to make the game perform as good if it's local player and the screen's cut in half. Because you got to keep in mind, man, there's a lot of beautiful things going on screen, and the fact that they're really, like, you know what I'm saying, putting in that much work, and imagine cutting the screen in half and then having to split that performance from two perspectives. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot. So that's a lot of the reason they have it on the hyperbolic time chamber, because you don't have as much going on, you know what I'm saying. You won't be able to see the wind doing all that stuff. You don't have to worry about as much destructive objects. The good part about it is they did add an offline local player. This was not originally part of their plan, but they were like, you know what, since people are fighting and arguing for it, they're like, you know what, let's go crazy, you know what I'm saying. So I liked it a lot. So the next thing that I want to talk about is during the combos, whenever you're getting comboed in the game, it looks like you're able to just guard mid combo, which is pretty cool. I do like that a lot. It helps you. It's basically a way of a combo breaker without having to get stuck in a long combo, because basically how this game is now, I have been told and I have been hearing from these YouTubers that practically you get to have more combo freedom, right? For example, Key Blasts in this game can be used to extend combos, and so your combos are going to be significantly better than how it was back in Budokai, in the Budokai series and the Rage of Blast series. So you're able to guard mid combo, which could knock the opponent away and basically, you know what I'm saying, allows you to get your licks in, you know what I'm saying. It's kind of similar to how they had it in Jump Force. Whenever someone was comboing you, you were able to at least just guard in the middle of it to basically get out of the combo. So it's a good combo breaker kind of thing. Next, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about the specific characters and their movesets, right? Well, I shouldn't have said specific characters, but ladies and gentlemen, looking at the screenshots of some of these characters in the gameplay, they have been taking a lot of liberty when it comes to these characters, their movesets, and so on and so forth. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to tell you guys, they have been adding in moves that have been manga exclusives to some of these characters, right? Which is low-key very surprising, because they don't really do this for a lot of anime games. And you probably think to yourself, Aaron, what do you mean by that? So if you guys did not know, Dragon Ball Super's anime was running, the way it was running farther than the manga, right? So if you read the Dragon Ball Super manga, the manga is completely different from how the anime played out, right? Obviously, I'm not saying like it's different stories, but like key elements are significantly different. And also, of course, they pass the Tournament of Power and they go into the Mora arc and so on and so forth. Because they went ahead and moved on ahead of that stuff, and they had characters that weren't fully fleshed out and developed in the Tournament of Power, they were able to add in some moves from the manga to the characters in game, right? For example, Super Saiyan God Vegeta, right? Super Saiyan God Vegeta has some moves that came from, not Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta has some moves from the manga added on to some of his move sets, which I think is pretty sick, and I like that a lot. I think they said the same thing for Goku Black as well. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they said the same thing about Goku Black as well. So the fact that they're adding manga moves to this is insane. I think that's pretty cool. I think it's a great step in the right direction, because think about it, if we could get manga moves in these games, the potential of us having manga characters is also on the table. Because think about it, the Dragon Ball Super anime ended years ago. The manga was doing really good and was, you know what I'm saying, pushing that content. You know what I'm saying, rest in peace to Akira Toriyama. And so of course, you know, they're taking their break, they're taking a step back right now. But the fact that they could be able to have more liberties with the Dragon Ball Super manga, that would be great to add in as future DLC. So we just gotta keep our minds, you know what I'm saying, open to the possibilities. And the last thing that I thought was pretty cool, it's just about a specific character. It's nothing too crazy. It's about legendary Super Saiyan Broly, right? So for example, whenever you sit there and use one of his attacks, whenever you play as a character and you start attacking with said character, you're able to see the dimensions from his combos, like how it basically was in the movie when he was fighting Gogeta, where his combos are so strong that it was basically like showing different dimensions. I thought that was pretty sick, and I like that a lot. And also, I don't know why I said that was the last thing. That's not the last thing I wanted to talk about with y'all in today's video, but I thought that was a really cool, interesting fact, by the way. And the last thing, ladies and gentlemen, that I want to talk to you guys about is the maps being more interactive. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, Aaron, what do you mean by the maps being more interactive? So, as you guys know about the World Tournament stage that everyone has been talking about, in the World Tournament stage in Sparking Zero, whenever you use a Ki Blast move and it hits or it doesn't hit the opponent, depending on what it does, basically you are able to, what happens is there will be a little cutscene where the announcer tells everybody like, yo, you guys get out of here now, this, that, and the third, because, you know what I'm saying, like they're shooting Ki Blast, and the audience leaves, which makes a little cutscene, right? The audience leaves, and once the audience leave, it opens up the map to basically more space, right? So before you were only fighting in a World Tournament stage, but because you use a Ki Blast and everyone runs away, you open up the map to go outside of the ring and do more. I think that is absolutely sick, and I love how interactive the maps are. And also, speaking of which, I also saw in some of the gameplay, I saw in one gameplay of Vegeta using a Final Flash on Frieza. Frieza moved out of the way and the Final Flash went to the ground, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, like that's insane. And it basically exploded the map, basically causing a stage transition, and I thought that was sick, y'all. Like they're really putting in some work when it comes to this stuff, for real. Speaking of the Ki Blast, like how I mentioned about Vegeta basically using the Final Flash and it looked like it went to the ground, it also looks like you were able to move the way Ki Blast goes. For example, how I mentioned whenever I saw Vegeta use the Final Flash and it went downwards, I saw another gameplay, some other gameplay footage of Krillin shooting a Kamehameha and the Kamehameha basically curving a little bit. Now, I'm not saying it's doing like full on 90-degree turns, but it looks like you're able to control or at least move your Ki Blast to an extent whenever you use it, and I think it's cool. I think that's really cool. It gives it some more of a vibe of like the anime, you know what I'm saying? And typically it makes it cool, and it makes it better too, because typically if it just shoots in a straight beam, all the opponent has to do is just move to the side a little bit, boom, they don't have to do much. But the fact that it curves and does all that other stuff is actually sick. Now I want to see if we're going to have some maps that are going to have stage transitions that do damage. I'm kind of interested in that idea. I think that'd be a pretty cool idea to implement, but you know what I'm saying, we're just going to wait till the full release comes out. But ladies and gentlemen, that was just some details that I found out about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero from watching gameplay footage that I thought was incredible. And honestly, I'm just more excited for this game to come out in October. So ladies and gentlemen, let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments section. Are you guys excited for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero? Are you guys disappointed? What are some critiques that you will make about the game? Please just let me know in the comment section. Until next time, peace out.